You see some pastor turning their hair as they like, doing all sorts of things. We all got it wrong, no exception. We're all guilty, except all of us, we go back to God. There's no unconditional love again. That is where the problem lies. That is why a marriage of 2 months can break down, because there was no genuine love from the beginning. Ọmọ tó yẹ kí èèyàn méjì tọ́jú ẹnìkan ṣoṣo ló ń tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ọmọ tó yẹ kí ojú mẹ́rin ó tọ́jú ojú méjì ló ń tọ́jú ẹ̀. It is going to weigh down on that person. And he or she may not be able to manage the children well.
It's another very beautiful moment today in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, as we meet a man, a great man, a man of great ideology, a Christian when it comes to the definition of Christianity, a theologian, and a Catholic Reverend Father, a historian, a man of impeccable achievement, Reverend Father Dr. Asumpta Ajayi. It's been almost 3 years that we've been on his neck to come and tell us 1 or 2 things about Christian development. We've met him severally in Ekiti. We met him in Iyagbede, in Ayetorugbede in Kogi State, North Central Nigeria. We met him across the country, officiating one event or the other in honor of loved ones. But by the special grace of God, this week when we heard that he was in Lagos, we did everything within our means to raise up to where he's giving his lecture in one of the great parishes in Lagos here, and we said no, we must meet him and we must talk to him and we must get 1 or 2 opinions from him, especially as regard Christianity, the development of Christian behavior and history, and especially as related to the history of the unity of the Yoruba people. Father, we're very, very honored to be with you today, sir, and we are so privileged. When we heard that you were in Lagos, we felt so very honored and we were so happy, and we said this is all the opportunity we've been waiting for since August 7th, 2015, when we met you at the great funeral of our very good father, Papa JB Ajayi, the Balogun Koloba of Ibadan, and one of the greatest Christian that ever lived in his time, the orator himself and the author. So how do you feel today, and can we know much about you, sir?
My name is Very Reverend Father Peter Asumpta Ajayi. I'm a Catholic priest from Ekiti Diocese. I've been a priest for the past 32 years. And next year I'll be 60 years old. So I thank God for this opportunity that you are giving me. And I pray that God will continue to bless you.
Amen, sir. A lot of people, there's this perception when we met you, especially when you delivered your sermon at the funeral of Baba Bosede Ajayi, John Bosede Ajayi, the great man, the former principal of Calabar Grammar School, and one of the greatest, let me call him, erudite scholar in the Catholic Church. There's this perception that you are a no-nonsense priest, especially as regard what people said about you after that wonderful what can I call it, presentation that you gave at the funeral of Pa JB Ajayi. Who are you? Are you really a no-nonsense priest, and why do people fear you so much in Ekiti, sir? Total honor, sir.
Thank God for the way He has created me. It is true, I am a no-nonsense man. I do stomach rubbish. People in our society today are not disciplined. And because we are not disciplined, that is why we are into mess in our country today. People cannot discipline themselves for so many things. So it was the way I've been brought up by my parents.
So talking about bringing you when you growing up with your parents and all that, what were those virtues that your parent imparted in you? Because today you look at the society and you want to shed tears for the kind of young people that we have now in the society, in terms of moral, in terms of attitude, and in terms of idiosyncrasies. Growing up, sir, did you remember some of those philosophies that were used in dotting you up, sir?
Yes, in my family, when I was growing up, it was a taboo for you not to go to the church. It was even a taboo for you not to respect your elders. And it was a taboo too not to honor those who are supposed to be honored. So it is total respect, total love. And where I grew up, it was even a taboo not to take care of the women, because we believe that they're the weaker sex.
It taboo not to take care of the women. I'm hearing for the first time, sir.
Yes, because when a woman is carrying something, you are supposed to help her. When a woman is standing, you are supposed to get up for her and let her sit down.
But today, there are a lot of people don't believe in that. Young men come out of the car and they say, and you see, even in the public buses, people just sit down and the woman is standing. There are a lot of change. In fact, I'm hearing this for the first time that it was a taboo. So, why did you think we lost this culture?
My mother even told me when I was growing up that if I see a woman who is older than me, I should see her as my elder sister. If I see a woman who can be my mother, I should see her as my mother. And if I see a woman that I'm older than, she's my sister. So I should see my mother in every woman. That was the way I was brought up. That was the discipline my mother instilled in all of us as children.
So now, growing up, sir, looking at the society today, with total honors as a father, because part of your topic that day was trying to tell us about love, about unity, about why people should live in love so that society could be well engineered. Sir, growing up, sir, and looking at today, what do you think has missed? Today you see weddings with fanfare, with all sort of assorted animated presentation and all that, and within 6 months it is broken up, or with latest 1 year the man is a mile apart, the woman is well apart. Why do you think marriages are not getting it strong these days, sir?
Again, I remember my mother. My mother was like a man, late Chief Mrs. Asumpta Ajayi. She told me severally that without love we cannot grow.
Without love you cannot?
Without love we cannot grow. That even after finishing supper in our house in those days, my mother will still preserve some food for strangers that you did not even know whether they were coming or not. As you can see in the society today, we are very selfish, very egocentric. We are always thinking of ourselves. That is why we are where we are today. Even some two people that get married, each and every one of them will be looking for his or her own profit from that gain. And it is either financial profit or material profit. That is why the society is breaking down. Because each and every one of us are looking for money. And we don't care wherever way we can get it. That is why we're in trouble.
So I'm sure that you will have officiated some marriages and some matrimonial events, and you look at the way society is being cut out today. We call it class struggle. A child graduate from University of Ife. She's from a very elite home, and she met a young boy who is from a very downtrodden, humble home, and she genuinely loves the young man. But her mother say, no, and you see, it becomes a kind of potpourri of bad attitude between the parents, and they just want their own daughter to marry the son of their friend, maybe because that one is a senator, or that one is a contractor in government, or is a politician. So how do we connect this? Is this part of Christianity too? And how do we stop the society? What do you have, you as an epitome of knowledge in the Christian values?
It is not a value in the Christendom. If you ask me, it is a materialistic value. It is because everybody wants to be rich. Even to be poor now is like a sickness.
To be poor like a sickness?
Yeah, it's like a sickness. I was chatting with some people yesterday. that even if you are sick now, if you are not rich now, nobody wants to be associated with you. You'll be treated like a leper because you don't have money. So that's this problem in the society. Until we are ready to see that money is not everything. To have money is an aspect of life, and there are so many aspects of life. Even to have good education is an aspect of life. But unfortunately, we are drawing our attention only to money, which is unfortunate.
But why? How did we get to this level? When you are growing up, it was not like that. Your peers in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, life was a bit different. How was it, and why did we sink to this very donkey?
We miss it in the 70s.
How, sir?
We miss it in the 70s because in the 70s, during the era of oil boom, we were celebrating so many things. We were worshiping idols. We invited all nations of the world to come and celebrate with us.
You're talking about first tax 77?
Yes. So we were worshiping idols. And you know, even in the book of Matthew, Jesus Christ was tempted by the devil. He said, if you serve me, if you worship me, I will give you the riches. And that is still what the devil is using today. That if you serve him, if you worship him, he's going to give us the riches. And all this, we are being enticed by these riches. And that is why we continue to worship the Satan. If you look around all over the world, it's like Satan is in control. Because he's giving people riches, giving them material things. And people are thinking, maybe this is the better thing for them. It is not. Because at the end of it all, everything is going to collapse. Even the kingdom of Satan is going to collapse.
The kingdom of Satan is going to collapse?
Yes, because it will not last forever. Because Jesus Christ is the king of the world. Eventually, he's going to take control of the world.
Sir, before we go to the issue of the church, talking about morals in the society, today when you see an average young person, what comes to your mind? You see an average young person that is carrying on a very horrible hair on the head, maybe a green, is dyeing his head to become gray, to become brown. I mean, carrying all sort of horrible wigs on the hair. Some are even doing tattoo and all that. And there's this kind of arrogant demeanor in the society. How do you feel as a father? We want you to teach us, sir, and what do you think society needs to do to change all this?
Anytime I see children of this nature, I used to be very sad and sick in myself. Because these youths, they're the leaders of tomorrow. The leaders of tomorrow are going around with a coloring hair, tattoo, doing all sorts of bad things.
Sagging their trousers.
Sagging trousers. It means the future is blinking. It means it's like there's no future. So it's bad. So I will advise our society in Nigeria, we should go back to where we have missed it. We should go back to God. We should go back to the church. You know, before the 70s, the churches were in charge of schools. And they invite morals into the house of pulpits. But nowadays, there's nothing like that. Everybody just goes our own way. So that is where we have missed it. Because education is very important. When you do not educate your children in the way of God, it is going to bounce back. And it is bouncing back now.
Somebody is saying that even the child that you didn't train when he was young is going to disgrace you when you are old. How true?
Yes, we have a Yoruba adage that say, the only legacy you can give to your children is good education. If you give them good education, that is the only legacy. If you are saying you are buying cars for your children to keep for them, you are building houses to keep for them. When they get old, when they reach that stage, the houses, the cars are going to be outdated. They are going to sell the houses and the cars and buy another one. Because they may not be useful to them.
At that time?
At that time, yes. It may not be useful to them. So it is better to give a good legacy to your children by teaching them, by educating them in the way of the Lord.
So this is a question that a lot of people want to ask the father. That is it the family cycle that got it wrong, or the church that got it wrong? Because when we were young, we were trained by our mother and our father, and when we get to Sunday school, the training continues. There are stringent doctrines that were given to us through stories in the Bible, through philosophies and all that. Then some people will say maybe it is the school. But today now you can see that the other day there was a student that was caught in a public school in Lagos, in a government school, with eyelashes and painted her nails and all that. Is it the parent that failed, the church that failed, or the school? Who failed?
All of us will fail. The parents will fail. The school will fail. The government will fail, because we are the products of our own society. We all fail. In fact, if you see some people that call themselves men of God today, you will weep.
Weep.
You will weep, because some
We have been weeping already.
yes,
We are crying, not weeping, sir.
some of the so-called men of God, they are just like the youth on the streets. You see some pastor turning their hair as they like, doing all sorts of things. We all got it wrong, no exception. We are all guilty, except all of us will go back to God. That's the only solution. Even men of God, we are guilty. Parents, we are guilty. Our leaders, we are all guilty. We must go back to God.
We must go back to God.
Yes, that is the only solution for our problems. We must bend our knees and tell God, we are sorry. We want to change. We want to go in the direction you want to direct us. We must not be wiser than God. That is why the Proverbs said, the wisdom you can get is from God. Any wisdom that is not from God is going to lead to destruction. So we must go back to God. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but not the end of wisdom. It's the beginning.
The beginning, not the end.
It's not the end.
Just the preliminary beginning.
Yes. Because we must continue to love God and fear Him and serve Him. That is why we are here. The moment we don't do that, we are going to fail. We are going to fail.
So Father, the other issue is the issue of, we are seeing the family circle now. Parents raising children. Today you see a lot of single mothers raising children. And when these children grow up, that you see that seed of one parent training in them, single motherhood. A child that is being trained by a single mother, you see it in her or in him. There's this kind of character breakdown and all that. So what do you think is responsible for all this in society? And is it that the society is not well structured again, that parents are now going apart, either because of money or because of status or because of class struggle and all that? What do you think is happening?
What is happening? We go back to marriage.
Marriage, sir.
Your marriage. You see two people getting married today. It is on condition. It is condition. I want to marry this person because he or she is rich. I want to marry this person, he or she is beautiful or handsome. You understand what I'm saying? When all those conditions are not met, things will fall apart. There's no unconditional love again. That is where the problem lies. That is why a marriage of 2 months can break down, because there was no genuine love from the beginning.
So the love was associated with the condition.
Yes. If you want to marry somebody, there must be unconditional love. Whether he has money or he does not have. Whether she's beautiful or she's not beautiful. Once it is for the material gains, there's going to be a trouble. So, and of course, the single parents, that's why we have many single parents today. Because after a few months of their marriage, the marriage will break down. Maybe the man alone will be taking care of the children, or the woman alone will be taking care of the children. Ọmọ tó yẹ kí èèyàn méjì tọ́jú, ẹnìkan ṣoṣo ló ń tọ́jú ẹ̀. Ọmọ tó yẹ kí ojú mẹ́rin ó tọ́jú, ojú méjì ló ń tọ́jú ẹ̀. It is going to weigh down on that person. And he or she may not be able to manage the children well. And when the children grow up, they're going to cause havoc in the society. And that is what we are having today. Even they are going to cause havoc in the church. They're going to cause havoc in the family circle. That is what we are having today. Like I said, until all of us, we go back to God. Tell God we are sorry. At the moment, we are prodigal children. We must return home to our Father and tell Him, God, we are sorry. We must all be sorry. I turn a new leaf.
So, but what do you think is the role of the church, especially as regard marriage? Do you think the church is doing enough to strengthen the family? Because today's church, you look at it critically, it's all about join a committee, contribute money. We are building a cathedral, we are building structures, we are doing this, we are doing that. Even the primary aspect of human development, education, and all that is missing today. It's much of a structures about all that. What do you think church should do, and do you think church is doing enough?
Like I said it a moment ago, we have all missed the target. Even the so-called churches, the so-called men of God, we don't even understand marriage. We don't understand married life. In married life, if you have a relationship, a man and a woman, they have a relationship. Number one, they must relate to God well. They must relate to themselves. They must relate to the society. Once all these three are missing, no development in the society, then the society will collapse. So the church must say to herself, I'm sorry too, I've not been doing well. We should not be shy. We have all missed it. Even the church has missed it. We must go back. We must go back to do the right thing. Send people for training to come back and do marital workshop for people everywhere. Not even in the church alone, even in the mosque. Everywhere that there are human beings, we must be ready to teach them how to behave in the family circle.
There's no problem. The problem of elaborate weddings. Oh, I have to call King Sunny Ade for my wedding. Oh, I want to be reserved. Today now, we are reading stories of people who are doing their marriage with t-shirts. Some are even doing it without best man or best lady and all that. And there are some family, they will say, no, we have to let it be big. We have to do it in a hotel. Some will say, oh, we want to do it in a humble church. Just people, let them come, take their takeaways and go. So what do you think is the role of the church in the contract of marriage itself when it comes to parental differences orientationally?
I think like I was growing up, I was disciplined.
Okay, sir.
So I believe everything we do in life, there must be moderation. You must not go to the two extremes. There must be moderation. Even if you are going to drink water, there must be moderation. If you are going to eat, there must be moderation. Like St. Thomas Aquinas will say, in the middle lies the virtue. You understand what I'm saying? We must be normal in whatever we do.
We must be normal
in whatever we do. When we are not normal, like some people, they say they don't want to spend money at all for their marriage. That is not normal. Some people will say they want to spend plenty of money for their marriage. That is even abnormal. We must come to the middle.
I'm surprised. So the extreme is...
Yes. We must run away from the extremists. We must come to the middle and do things in the normal way.